Action! Welcome to cs101 Tuesday. Thank you for praying, Anna. And there's the attendance being saved. And we'll let go of that. Go away. Go away. Okay. Okay. Sometimes when this stuff happens, it's because multiple programs are running and they don't play nice with each other. And there we go, saving attendance. Now, I'm not making a big deal about attendance. The main thing I'll look at is if there's been multiple, then there might be some concern. And if you ask for extension on an assignment and you've missed like 5 classes, I'm going to think, you know, you've already not been quite responsible. I haven't had to worry about that so much. In the syllabus, it does mention attendance. If it comes down to details, like a border between a grade, I'll look at attendance and say, yeah, they were pretty faithful. We'll give them the benefit of any doubt in the assignment. So the main thing I measure you on is your work. And, in the syllabus, I guess I didn't say that. Maybe I will add to that. Let's see if I said that in the syllabus about the proportion of work measured in your grade. There we go. I did say it. 30% of your grade is based on your homework because there's a lot of homework. And so I want to give you credit for that. And there's regular quizzes, in-class quizzes, that take questions from your e-quizzes. And the midterm and final are the other half, which cover basically kind of a overall comprehensive practice of your skills. So keep that in mind when you think about, how am I doing in this grade? Well, the first question is, well, how are you doing on your homework? And your homework is part of, if you look at the assignment schedule, these e-quizzes, I count them as homework. There will be an in-class quiz, and you'll see that there. That's the plan, is to have an in-class quiz there. So when you see quiz 1 here, that means in-class, closed book, maybe open program, like you can use Word, because usually it's a Word project. And remember, Word does have some help in there. These e-quizzes, remember, they're all open book. Did I show you the e-quiz last time? Look,
Yeah.
did it?
Yeah.
Let's make sure, I don't remember, forgot that, well, that course, we lost that one recording. Remember, in the e-quiz, you can just go click on it. If you haven't done a submit, it may have a button that says continue last attempt. And you can go in there and work through problems. Oh yeah, I remember this now, and reminded you, you can print this out in the library. If you do print out, in the printout, you can do print to multiple page. Have you ever done that? Control P lets you print it out, and if you go to properties of your printer, or was it, or in the layout, is it in the layout? Advanced, no, not there, let's see. Sometimes you can say how many pages per sheet, and I guess this one doesn't let us in the generic mono printer. Let's just take a look at this other printer, and let's see if it lets me do multiple pages per sheet in the properties. This one doesn't have as many options. Look at advanced page order. Oh, this one isn't very friendly at all. Most of the time, well, you get a little, if you're connecting to a printer, you can have an option to print multiple pages per sheet, saving you a bit of paper. It does get a little tiny though, so if you like the full size, just go ahead and do a print. And remember then, once you're done, you can always go back to a question to see what question had that particular problem. If when you see the answers, you'll see red and green show up here. And then you can do a finish attempt. And see how I haven't answered any questions. It reminds you what's been answered. And I can do a submit all and finish. And I don't get a great score on that. And I see which ones I got wrong. And I can always go back and start a new test. For me, it shows preview because I'm the instructor. Okay, back to here. Today, I want to go over a little bit about what was in that video. Let me show you a few things here. And this time, since I can't get the sound working, let me add a tab. And let's just do a, a search for internet privacy. What do you know right now about internet privacy?
It involves the right mandate of personal privacy
Very
concerning
good.
the storing, repurposing, provision of third parties, and displaying information pertaining to oneself via the internet. Internet privacy is a subset of data privacy.
Does that really help? That doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Here we go. Here's a biblical question. Is privacy biblical? Could you refer to a particular scripture saying, yes, that is a biblical concept. That is not something that's just made up for our particular culture. Have you heard of cultures that they just generally share everything they have? And they don't understand the idea of ownership of things. There are some cultures that have that. I'm not sure there's many cultures. So it kind of goes along with ownership. Is there anything that refers to ownership in the Bible that we can say, yeah, this indicates that's not just something we've made up, it's a biblical concept? Ten Commandments? Is there anything in the Ten Commandments that hints at privacy or ownership?
Well, there's the idea of do not steal.
Yeah.
Also, in some ways, some ways do not covet. I mean, it kind of implies
Right, yeah.
that someone else has something you don't have.
And those particular commands, I'd say, well, that's applying to material goods, so that's a step in that direction. That the 8th commandment, don't steal, and 10th commandment, no coveting, implies there is ownership. And especially in relationships, that's big, no adultery. There is a private relationship. There is, remember the incident with Noah. And he was it Noah? Yeah, he was with Noah. He was drunk in his tent, and one son told the other two, hey, Dad's in his tent naked. And the other two walked in backwards to cover him up. They were given special honor by Noah because of their protecting his privacy, his shame. There's scripture about gossiping, sharing private information about others. I think of that kind of private information as embarrassing information, sharing embarrassing information about someone else. But there's also implied there's some kind of privacy. You could do a whole paper, I suppose, on privacy and the support of it biblically. It's become part of our culture. You expect, well, what are your expectations of privacy in this school that you think you shouldn't have to explain to someone? What's your expectations of privacy?
No access to stuff that I have my media, my phone,
Okay.
computer, unless I give them permission.
And I found that that's generally in our culture. Someone leaves their phone laying around, unless you're one of their friends, it's probably not very socially acceptable to pick up someone's phone and just start thumbing through their texts, although I'll bet some people do that. I found a phone once when I was at a camp, and I wanted to know who it belonged to, because it looked like it was a working phone and someone had dropped it. And there was no indication about who it belonged to, so I was thumbing through some text just to see, and one text was, here's I think it's one of their contacts was Mom. And I think I used that phone, I texted Mom saying, this phone has been found, I'm going to leave it here. Before I had found that, I had some texts were up, some explicit language between whoever owned this phone and someone else. I thought, boy, if this is a staff person at this Bible camp, I'm a little concerned. So I think I hinted to Mom, you might want to check this person's text, whoever this phone belongs to. If I were their parent, I'd be a little worried about who they're texting. But, sometimes you're texting to a friend and they don't have issues about expletives in their texts. And maybe there's someone they're trying to witness to. Now, out on the internet, do you expect that your internet communications are somewhat private? What do you expect about the privacy there of your communications on Facebook?
Not really. I don't really see it as that private.
Do you expect it to not be private? Or you just kind of think, well, that's Facebook has control over it. There's not much I can do.
Mostly that Facebook, has control over, or just mostly the fact that it's really easy to access anyone's information online. So it's like, if you don't want something to be found, don't put it online.
Yeah. And in Facebook and sites like that, often, and it changes day to day, so I can't say right now if this is the case with Facebook, but there was a time when Facebook users suddenly got a notice from, well, it didn't suddenly, they got a notice from Facebook that said, by the way, we're upgrading, and all your settings go back to default settings because they were doing an upgrade. In that settings was your profile is public, not all your friends are public, but things that people had set to be super private were suddenly turned off. They had to go back in and turn off some of this default settings for letting everyone see your profile, your status, your relationship status, making that sort of stuff public or private. Esther, if you post something that accidentally came out to be embarrassing to a friend of yours, and you go delete it, is it gone from Facebook? Why not? The internet is forever. That is right. Remember, you put something on a page, even though you erase it from a page, someone has a copy of that page on that day, and would you believe there are people that actually, and I'm not sure how many people are doing that, but the government security agencies, you can think of them as basically making a copy of the pages on the internet every day. If they want to go back to what was on Facebook, what was on Esther's post, August 25th, 2014, they could probably bring up a page and see what she said on that day, even though you erased everything you said after that because you didn't mean it. Facebook and many sites like that don't officially assist the government in those things, but they're probably keeping backups of those pages anyway because servers that do that want to have be able to restore things for people. So anything you say, and you've been probably been told this is something you're probably used to your whole life, where my age, people forget all this stuff. Everything you do out there, someone can go back and research what you've said. Even though you were young and immature in your high school days and you said silly things, even before you were saved, you may have had a whole different life. Those things are still out there. So that's one thing to be careful of. The other thing is your account information is regular. Just imagine every year or every few months, bugs are found in whatever sites you're out there. Even without there being bad people, there may be mistakes and they've left information available. Change your passwords regularly. Maybe not every few months, but I'd say at least every 6 months, change your passwords on your bank accounts. And some accounts will make you do that. And this guy that had a video suggested when you do a password, I'll just bring up a password. When you do passwords, make sure to make them long and not obvious, but enough in there so you can remember. For example, if my dog's name is Cooper, people can use social engineering and see my profile, see my Facebook pages, and see that I have a dog named Cooper. And there are automated programs that will find that stuff and in just a few seconds try all the possible combinations of my pet's name when they're trying to log into. If they find my username or guess it, try to log into my bank account or something. Something I can easily do, say I want to use Cooper as the base for my password, rather than doing Cooper, I could do something like little harder password for someone else to guess, but something that I could easily remember. Oh yeah, it's that word, it's that password based on the name of my pet. This is a much harder password to guess for programs, and easy enough for me to remember where I put the dots between the words. Use that kind of thing with passwords. Sometimes I use Bible verses, and in my reminder for what my password is, instead of saying Cooper, I might say Bible verse salvation. If it's some verse that I remember, oh yeah, it's that password. I can sometimes use a reference or particular words in the verse. Use those kind of things for your passwords. Don't use, and if you do a search, you can use for the most common passwords. You might find people using this. Would you believe there are professional software places that have that as their default password? And this is a very common password as well. Or for the Christians, very common passwords. Even if you use something like this, put some variation in it. Don't put a common variation. This is something that, even though I did it here, people get used to that, and those automatic password guessers will put ones there and zeros there as part of their attempts to break in. So that's easy to remember, but mix it up with something else as well, because this is an automatic thing that's often found. So be careful about that, and you can't say it enough. And remember the big word, back up. Think to yourself, what would happen if I lost everything on this computer I'm sitting at right now? What if we had a lightning storm, or I kicked the wire and it turned off and then something broke? Can you get back what you have? Back up all your papers you've done. They will fit on a small device. And if you're like me, make sure you back it up to more than one device, because that one is leaving in my pocket. One has gone through the laundry about 5 times. It has survived, but one of these times it won't survive. Make sure you have more than one place to back up. One good place to back up is a place that I use is over on my Google Docs. How many use Google Docs for documents, for backup? Very nice place. There is also a thing called Google Drive, and I can go to my Google Drive. Here I can also install an application on my phone, on my tablet, either Android or iPhone. There is a thing called a Google Drive app, and I can create files there, and see how I have them ordered in little folders. You may not have as many files as I do gathered over the years, but keep them in some type of sane order where you have a file for school things. Here I have a cs101 folder, and I make a folder for about every class, and I have presentations for there that I can keep up there. Nice thing about these cloud drive storage is I can get to it from anywhere just using a browser. Which gets us to our next topic before we get into our first little assignment, having to do with internet searching. You probably have done lots of internet searching, and I want to make sure you are very proficient at it. And this first link I put in the eLearn course. It has to do with our Bible course, or our Bible assignment, which is coming up down here. We'll be talking about tips for searching the internet. You probably know this already, so let's just run through these. When you're looking for a topic, say, well, you make up a topic. Anything you want to search for today, thing you're interested in, think of something specific.
Something humorous.
Humorous, yeah. Anybody like cookies?
That's humorous. I like that.
What is your, let's look for a cookie recipe. Is there a particular type of cookie you like? I've got my favorite. I want to give you a chance to give your favorite.
Chocolate chip and M&M.
Chocolate chip M&M. So chocolate. Now would I put chip in there? Chip is a pretty common word. If I want to be sure it has the whole word chocolate chip in there, I can put that in quotes to make sure it gets the actual two words, chocolate chip. If I want to be sure it's in the search, here, let me do this. Let me go right to Google so you can read all this a little better here. If I want to do a specific search, I can put the word chocolate chip in there in quotes. That means both words together have to be somewhere in the search. And if I put a plus in front of it, you ever done that in searches? That means the result, don't show me results if they do not have the word chocolate chip in there. Let's see what we get for the number of results. Oh, 21 million results. Oh, I can search through those. Now, if I want to be sure it does not contain a specific word, like I do not want cherries in it, that brings it down to 22 million. Let's say I do not want to have the word nuts in it because I am allergic. And I'm going to use just a single word nut because that should account for the plurals as well. That brings it down to, only 20 million results. Let's say we want to look for raisins. It has to have raisins. See how I put the plus in there? All these pluses and minuses are being more specific. This, without a plus or minus, means it could have cookies in there or not. If it does have cookies in there, it'll be on the first hits. By saying, yes, it must have raisins in it, I have greatly reduced my results because there's not many people that like raisins with chocolate. I'm not sure I would want raisins with chocolate. Let's say we're very health conscious and we want to be sure it has oatmeal because oatmeal is more healthy than wheat. And we've halved our results again. Let's say we don't want to use real sugar. No, let's say we want to use real sugar. Could we, let's say no, instead of saying it has to have the word real sugar in it, let's say no minus artificial. Oh, it didn't reduce it by too many. These are some things that may make your searches much more efficient. One thing that I've done that happens to me, I don't know if it's happened to you, when you're doing a search on a topic for a paper, you start your research and an hour goes by and you've learned a lot of cool stuff, but then you think, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be writing about this. And I started reading about that and it was very interesting. And I didn't get my results because I spent so much time. Other times you're looking for a specific picture or topic and you just can't seem to find it. Sometimes you have to try a different search engine. I've been using Google. Do you know how to change your search engine preferences? Right up here, you can adjust your search settings. I hate all those random choosing of these other selections, so I turn all of these off. You can turn these others on. Yahoo sometimes gives you results, but that's been annoying sometimes. And I came to a few sites that said I was getting a virus there, so I tend to avoid the Yahoo search engine. But you can always adjust that on the browser. And remember, when you go to any of these computers here and in the library, unless you have your own specific account, someone else could have messed up the settings and made the default search engine something else. So you can always go back in and adjust your search settings. One other thing that's kind of interesting, for me at least, I can actually find out who is linking to a particular website. I can use the link colon and then put a website name like Emmaus.edu. If you have a website for your home company, you can find out who is linking to your site. And here I see not many sites, 11 results of different sites that have a link to this specific www.emmaus.edu. So if you have a site that you own or want to or are using, your little blog spot or your little Facebook page, you could find out who is linking to that article that you've written or published somewhere on the internet. If you have more tips, I have put them here in this little project. So let's take a look at this little project. Get you started on our first project just to see how these assignments work. I'm going to bop down to the, where did it go? Here we go. Web-based Bible search project. Just click on that and it brings up the assignment with instructions in there. There's a few things that, besides just doing a basic Bible search, doing a screenshot of a page that you're at can be very useful for writing a paper, and I want to make sure you're all comfortable with taking screenshots. Have any of you done that before? Done a screenshot? Very handy. I want to be sure, remember this class, we want to be sure you know all these basics. And we're going to put them into a document that we'll upload here. This is something that I already clicked to. This is the page I referenced, that link colon. It has a lot more details about special ways you can link to sites and learn out lots of things. I'm not going to ask you to know all these details. That's just an extra thing. If you're interested in the details, I put that link in there. Okay. I've used this one Bible search program. Have you used BibleGateway.com? I find it pretty useful. When you do online Bible, it's one of the first sites I pull up. What other sites do you like to use for online Bible resources?
There's one that's like Bible CC or something.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember.
So I'm going to go to that site by going up into the address bar here and pasting it. I know some people that when they search for a site, they go to Google first and put in the site name. Have you seen people do that? And then they put it on the link? Drives me crazy. I'm thinking, come on, you can just put that address right there in the address bar. Now, this has similar search capabilities, but not quite as extensive as Google. I can look for verses that have the word summer in them. And I get 25 results. And in the project description here, I get 25 verses, and I'm asking you simply to list the keywords and any special formatting characters. Is there something else I could use in verses having to do with summer that might give me more verses? Is there synonyms for summer in the Bible? I probably picked an easier one. Doesn't have many synonyms. Hot, dry.
Put down like different, because theirs was based off of like harvests and stuff. So I don't know what you would put down.
Now, if I knew Hebrew, I could bring up the Hebrew version. They have the Hebrew, and then I could actually put in Hebrew, if there's in Hebrew multiple words for summer. In English, I only know the one. But I'm happy for this. I get the 25 results. So I gave you kind of an easy search. I could have given you a more detailed one, like maybe a particular country that had various names or kingdoms. Babylon referred to in other ways. So in summer here, you get 25 results. Now, with this article, with this results, I can copy and paste all those results. And let's see what I'm asking you to do. List the keywords you used. Okay, so in this assignment, let's see how I've given you this assignment. I think down here, I can, well, let's see. For me, can I add submission? Oh, submission's closed. Does it say that for you? I better fix that if it's saying it's closed. As an instructor, sometimes it doesn't appear the same to me.
You can do like online text and
Yeah.
upload.
Okay, there we go. So if you want, you can copy and paste your results right into your the online assignment, or you could go over here to Google Docs, and I'm going to do that just for fun. I'm going to go to my Google Drive, and I'm going to create a folder here. There's 2015 fall. I'll make a new folder, 2016 spring, and I'm going to make a document in my Google Drive, cs101. And where did the folder appear? There it is. I'm going to make a new Google Doc, and I'm just going to paste, and I'll call this Manning Bible Search Project. I'm putting SP2016 because I teach this course multiple times. So back here at the Bible Gateway, it would be nice to just be able to copy the references. This particular one doesn't give me a chance to copy all of them. I'm going to go up to the top, start selecting the verses. Dragging through that. Oh, it stopped there. Let me start dragging up there. There we go. Start selecting. Scroll down to the bottom and shift select. Shift, and now it has all those verses. To copy it out, you've done this before, right? Control C. Go over to my Google document that I started right here, and verses related to summer, site, BibleGateway.com. Search term, summer. Results, and let's see, I could paste them now. Let's go ahead and paste them. There are the results. Lots of links added, but that's okay. Now that was one part of it. Simply copying and pasting the results. Okay, that's part one. Oh, let's put in my document, I'm also going to say 25 verses. Oh, it wouldn't hurt to put at the top Bible Search Project by, and then put your name. See, you could almost use this MLA style. So when I'm looking at your results, I can say, oh yes, that's your results. So I just did a simple copy paste. No big deal there. Now the next thing I wanted you to do, find forms of your name in the Bible. Can you find forms of your name? And I explained that mine, the closest I could get for my name is ARTE star. There is no Arthur in the Bible, or Truman, or Manning. Oh, I suppose there's man in lots of places. So I can go back to Bible Gateway. Let's see if it's still the same results. A form of my name, ARTE. If I don't put the star there, let's see if I get the same result. There. Let's see, ARTE, I get, oh, I guess I do. Even without the asterisk as the wild card, I still get results. So 6 results for ARTE.
Do I have to copy one? Do I have to copy for my name?
No.
Okay.
You can just say you've got a lot and maybe pick one of them.
Okay.
Okay, so ARTE, with or without the asterisk in Bible Gateway, it still finds the same number. Let's see if I put that in quotes. Would it find it? Yep, so I still get the 6. Let's see ARTE with a space. I'll bet you I get nothing. Oh, it still finds it. So it doesn't treat quotes the same as I might think. So put some form of your name. And back there in the Bible Gateway, after getting the results, what I've asked you to do then is take a screenshot of the results. Okay, let's make sure we all know how to do screenshots. It's been very useful. So I've done ARTE, and I want a screenshot of the results. Well, here it shows what I searched for. Rather than, I don't need to do them all. Let me just reduce the font a little bit by Control, rolling the scroll bar down, or Control minus will reduce the size of that text. And to do a screenshot, Esther, how do you do a screenshot?
I actually always forget. Is it what?
One way to do it. Do you know how?
Yeah, the little print screen button.
Yeah, the print screen gets the whole screen. Control Alt print screen gets the window that is open. So if I just want the one window I'm working on, like just that window there, I can do Control Shift print screen. We'll just get a picture of that particular window. Now the question is, can I paste that into this document? Let's see if it'll let me paste that. Sometimes it works. Let's see if it does for this one. I'm going to go down to the bottom and do a search for my name. And let's do a Control V paste. And it seemed to, there, look at that, Control V paste. It did paste the screenshot. In this case, maybe it's Control Alt print screen, because see how it got both my windows. And the paste did work. I don't recall this always working for me. Sometimes I'd have to save the file and then upload the file to insert an image. But just the Control V let me paste it. Let me see if I can get just the window. Go back to here, and maybe it's Control Alt print screen. Control Alt print screen, and then come back to my document. And let's try a paste there. That time, there we go. Control Alt print screen just gets a screenshot of the window that you're in when you want to get the screenshot. So that's a pretty nice way to get a screenshot. Another way is to find the program called Snipping Tool. Have any of you ever used the Snipping Tool? It's very handy. If you want a specific picture you see on a web page that you want to use in your document, sometimes we'll talk about saving images. Sometimes it's more than an image. You want to just get a screenshot of what you saw. I can go hunt for the Snipping Tool by going up into the corner, waiting for the search icon to pop up. And then I just search for snipping. And there's the Snipping Tool. It's built into Windows. What's nice about the Snipping Tool is I can start a new snipping, and I can get a snip of just a piece of a screen that I want to put in my document. It creates an image. It's also in what we call the clipboard. So I can do a copy and now go back to my document up in the cloud, and you could also do this in Word or do that in that online tool. And now if I paste that, see how I get just the piece that my Snipping Tool captured. So Snipping Tool, very handy. So 3 different ways. Print screen gets the whole screen. Control Alt print screen just gets the window, or the Snipping Tool just gets a piece of it. The reason I like to use a doc like this is because this is automatically saving as I go. When you're editing that little page in your assignment, if you do something wrong, sometimes that gets lost. And sometimes it doesn't work the way you expect. So you're welcome to use that. But if you do run into troubles with it, you can use Microsoft Word if you're familiar. Just build a Word document and then upload that for your assignment. Let's see if we have anything else we wanted to do on that. Basically, do a couple of searches and then do the screenshot and then upload. That's about it for this first assignment. The main thing I wanted to just make sure everyone's familiar with the so many options that are available for searching. Know those particular tips for making it more efficient. Getting familiar with just the whole look and feel. I am using Firefox. If you ever run into a problem, you might think, oh, am I using the same browser Mr. Manning was using? Sometimes things work better or things break depending on the browser you're using. And so before spending more hours on a problem, maybe think, oh, something went wrong. Let me try it in the other browser because my friend didn't have the same problem I'm having. And that often will solve a lot of your problems. Sometimes I find that if you're like me, I'll have 10,000 little tabs across the top and my poor little browser can't handle that many, and I have to close down some of the tabs. Because every time I have a tab open, I'm using more memory in my poor little computer. These in the back row don't have much of a problem with that. Well, covered a decent amount of stuff today. Hope you're learning something. Some of this I think some of you have seen before, but I want to make sure everyone's familiar with this basic stuff. We'll stop today, and I'll see if I can fix this sound so we can watch some videos. Have a great day.